In this third video for 8a, we're going to use factoring of GCF to solve formulas. So to solve for a variable that appears in two different terms. Now we've actually done something similar to this back in probably Unit 1 or 2. And but this time we're going to have several, the variable is going to appear several times. So these are the steps that we're going to use. We're going to use the distributive property if there are parentheses. So if there are parentheses, for example, as in example C, we will distribute to get rid of the parentheses so that we have just a series of terms. So that would be our first step. The second step is we're going to move all the terms with the variable that you're solving for to one side of the equation and all the other terms to the other side. We're going to factor out the variable you're solving for, and then we're going to divide by the remaining factors. So let's just put some sense to those four steps. All right, so on A, we do not have any parentheses to eliminate, so we're good. So step 2, move all terms with the variable that you're solving for. What are we solving for? For this one, we're solving for P. So we're going to solve for P. We want to move all of those to one side. Well, okay, here's a P, here's a P, and they're both on the right side of the equals. Check. And all the other terms to the other side, so terms. So remember, terms are separated by equals, pluses, and minuses. So I've got the three different terms here. Both terms with the P's are on the right. The term without a P is on the left. Then we're going to factor out the variable that we're solving for. We're solving for P, so we want to factor a P out of this side. So P times what is P? We need to put a 1 right there. Plus P times what is PRT? I'm missing an R and a T right there. So now I have A is equal to P, parentheses 1 plus RT. Now I want to solve it for P, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides, I'll do this in a different thing, by 1 plus RT. So divide both sides by that parentheses 1 plus RT. And when I do it, these cancel, the parentheses cancel, and I'm left with a P on the right, and over here A divided by 1 plus RT. And that's my answer for that. So I want you to note that I don't cancel the 1 and the 1 and the R and the R and the T and the T. I'm canceling the whole parentheses, which are the same. So that's something we haven't really talked a lot about yet. Example B. Again, there's no parentheses to eliminate. I need to get, oh, this time I'm solving for X. I see A's on both sides, but I'm solving for X. So I want to get the all the X's on the same side. So I might, I've got an X over here, so I'm going to subtract this term. So I'm going to subtract minus AX from both sides. And when I do, on the left side, I get XY minus AX. On this side, on the right side, the AX subtract out, and I'm left with A times Y. So again, keep in mind, I'm solving for X. Over here, I was solving for P. All right, so I'm solving for X. So step 3, I want to factor out the X. And I'm going to be left with here Y, X times Y, minus X times A is equal to AY. Then I'm going to divide by this remaining factor. So this whole parentheses is my factor. So I'm going to divide both sides by Y minus A. These that parentheses, whole parentheses cancels, and it leaves me with X is equal to AY divided by Y minus A. Now, if you happen to move your X's a different direction, you may have a little bit of a variation of this. You might have something that looks similar but not the same because you moved an opposite way, which is okay. But you want to check with me and make sure you did everything right. So if you come up with something that looks a little different, and you want to double check it because you feel like you did the right thing, bring it up and let me check. All right, then see, this time I have the parentheses that I want to eliminate. So x times 3y will be 3xy. X times 1 is x. Then it's equal to 7y minus 1. I'm wanting to solve it for y. So I want my y terms on the same side. So I'm going to move this way. And that's going to give me 3xy minus 7y plus x. That subtracts out is negative 1. Then I want to move my term that's not a y term. So minus the x on both sides. And that's going to give me 3xy minus 7y. That subtracts out is equal to negative 1 minus x. All right, so now I want to solve for the y, so I'm going to factor out the y. That leaves me with 3x minus 7 is equal to negative 1 minus x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by the parentheses, 3x minus 7. And my answer comes out to be y is equal to negative 1 minus x over 3x minus 7. Oops. So there it is. Just one comment, I'll show you. If I were to multiply by a clever one, which is like negative 1 over negative 1, and distribute that through this parentheses here, it would give me a positive 1 and a positive x over a negative 3x and a positive 7. So that's the answer, and that would also be an answer. I multiplied by a clever 1 right there to get that. All right.